What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Wolfcry here with a 0DPS Shrine Monk build guide. Now, I love playing Monk, and I always make an effort to have a 0DPS support monks for when I'm grouping with my clanmates or friends, and it's a great way to grind out those higher GRs. But now, thanks to patch 2.6.4 and that Season 16 Ring of Royal Grandeur buff, we now actually have a spot in the 4-man speed paragon farming meta. And this meta consists of a DPS charge barb, a 0DPS support barbarian, a zDPS shrine monk, and a DPS impale demon hunter. And it's a very fun way to gain those paragons. Paragon is such an important part of this game. It helps you clear higher end content, higher end GRs, and it's very useful to have a group set up so that you can farm out that paragon. And thankfully this season we now have a spot in one of those groups without having to roll a necromancer to run those Rathma runs. We can now stay on our monk, set up a shrine monk, and get to work farming up that paragon. All right, so let's dive into the gear and skills, and then we'll talk a little bit about the stats that you're looking for on these pieces. So let's dive right in, ladies and gentlemen. First up, we're going to be running the 4-piece Innis set. You're going to wear 3 pieces thanks to Season 16's Ring of Royal Grandeur buff. We do not need to cube or wear the Ring of Royal Grandeur. And I also like to combine this with 3 pieces of the Blackthorn set, which gives you the 4-piece set bonus to both the Innis set and the Blackthorn set. For the Innis set, the 4-piece set bonus is going to give you the base effect of all 4 of your mantras at all times. And the 2-piece set bonus is going to double the passive effects. And your Blackthorn set is going to give you an additional 250 vitality, 10% damage reduction from elites, and you are now immune to Desecrator, Molten, and Plagued monster ground effects, including those Molten explosions. Gotta love that Blackthorn set. Then I'm running Lefebvre's Soliloquy. These shoulders grant you up to 50% damage reduction every time you Cyclone Strike. And I combine that with Spirit Guards for an additional 60% damage reduction every time you attack with a Spirit Generator. These 2 items are very useful at mitigating damage so that you stay alive and can help your party members, because a dead monk is not useful to the group whatsoever. Now, one of the special pieces for this build is the Eye of Peshkov. This Spirit Stone is going to reduce the cooldown of Breath of Heaven by up to 50%, and this is going to give your Charge Barbarian a big boost in damage. And we'll explain that more when we get to the skills, but this helm is very useful in this setup. For your rings, we are looking at Oculus Ring, chance to create an area of focus power on killing a monster, and damage is increased by 85% while standing in this area. You want to make sure you have an 85% Oculus. You don't want to be trying to get into one of these groups with a 77% Oculus. The object of these groups is to just move quickly and kill quickly. So you want to offer as much damage increase to your party as you can, and an 85% Oculus is the goal here. You want to make sure your Oculus is bringing your party that big damage increase that it can. For your other ring, I am running Band of the Root Chambers. This is going to allow your spirit generators to generate up to 50% more spirit, and you are pretty resource heavy since you're going to be using Cyclone Strike a lot to pull the mobs in and to gain that bonus from your Lefebvres. So your spirit generators need to generate enough spirit for you to keep casting these abilities. Now, you can switch this out for your cube ring, which is going to be Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. And actually, Obsidian pretty much has all the stats you're looking for on this build, so it might be better to wear the Obsidian and cube your Band of Root Chambers, but as always, you want to wear whichever one's better and cube the other one. For your weapons, I like to use the Little Rogue and Slanderer set. Every time you spend primary resource, you gain 6% increased attack speed and armor for 5 seconds, and this effect stacks up to 5 times. Every time you cast your Cyclone Strike, you're going to be gaining this bonus. Now in the cube, we are looking at Avarian, Spear of Lycander in the weapon slot. This is going to give your party a chance on killing a demon to gain a random shrine effect. This is why this is called a Shrine Monk and is very useful for the party. You don't personally have to kill the demon for your party to gain the shrine effect. So very, very useful to have in these speed metas. Then we're looking at strong arm bracers. Enemies hit by knockbacks suffer 30% increased damage for 6 seconds. You are bringing a lot of increased damage, especially for your barb. So you want to make sure you have strong arm bracers in your cube. Then, like I said, you've got Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Reduce the remaining cooldown of one of your skills by 1 second when you hit with a resource spending attack. Now let's talk about the gems. I run with Gogok of Swiftness. Once this gem reaches level 25, you gain attack speed and cooldown percent with every single attack. This is going to grant up to 15% increased attack speed and cooldown, as well as dodge chance, which is pretty good as well. Then we're running Gem of Efficacious Toxin. Once this gem is rank 25, all enemies you hit are poisoned and they take 10% increased damage from all sources and deal 10% less damage, helping out your party greatly. And for the last gem, we are running Ice Blink. Your cold skills now apply a chill effect, and at rank 25, enemies you chill have a 10% increased chance to be critically hit. So now let's go ahead and talk about the skills. First up, we are running Crippling Wave Tsunami. This is going to be your main source of spirit generation, and it's going to trigger your Ice Blink. It's got a pretty wide range, so that freeze effect and that chill effect is applied to a bunch of mobs around you, which is very useful. Then we are running Breath of Heaven Zephyr. This is going to be a nice heal, but in addition to that, and the main reason you are running Zephyr is for 3 seconds after casting it, you and your allies gain 30% additional movement speed, which is going to increase your charge barbarian's damage substantially. Hence why we wear the Eye of Peshkov. We want this to be available to us as often as possible during these rifts. Then we're looking at Epiphany Soothing Mist. This is going to grant you spirit regeneration. It's going to also allow you to dash to certain mobs if your charge is down, and it's going to allow all of your skills to heal your party members, because that is your secondary job here, keeping everybody alive. Your job in these groups are to increase your charge barbarian's damage and keep the entire group alive at all times, yourself included. Next up, we have Dashing Strike Blinding Speed. I run Blinding Speed simply because the 40% increase to dodge for 4 seconds after casting Dashing Strike, and you're going to be casting it a lot anyways just to keep up with your group. So you're always going to have this little bit of damage mitigation, which is very helpful. Then we are looking at Cyclone Strike Soothing Breeze. This is going to pull enemies in so that your charged barbarian can wreck them, and it's also going to cast out a nice heal. And not only that, it's going to pretty much do a ton of other things, including proccing your Lefebvre's, proccing your Isfin's Paired Blades, and proccing your Obsidian Ring. Cyclone Strike does so much in this build that you cannot do without it. And the last skill we're looking at is Mantra of Conviction Annihilation. This is going to allow your party to deal 8% more damage, 16% when it's active. And not only that, it's going to give you another 30% increased movement speed for your party, again amplifying the damage your barbarian does. Now for your passives, I use Resolve. Damage you deal reduces enemy damage by 20% for 4 seconds. Then I use Beacon of Ytar because cooldown is king in all 0 DPS support monks. Then we're looking at Harmony. 40% of your single elemental resistances from items instead increases your all resistance. Then I run with Near Death Experience because a dead monk, like I said, is not useful whatsoever. Now, if you are comfortable with your gear and your setup, you can switch this out for Guardian's Path or even Unity to increase your group's damage even more. But I personally like to run with Near Death Experience. Now, for your base gems in your helm, chest, and legs, I always run with diamonds because you like the cooldown reduction in your helm and the resistances from your other 2 armor pieces. In your weapons, you are running amethysts for that life per hit. And the stats on all of your gear, you are looking for cooldown reduction. You are looking for attack speed. On your secondaries, you are looking for health glow bonus on your shoulders, your chest piece, your boots, both rings and amulet. Part of your job is to heal up your group, and you're looking for between 180,000 to 200,000 health glow bonus. This is going to increase your healing substantially. Then you're looking for Dex and Vite, as well as resource cost reductions, very useful, and so are secondary resistances. But if you can only have one secondary on a piece of gear, you definitely want the health glow bonus instead of secondary resistance. Try to get that all res on those pieces of gear. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I am having a ton of fun playing this build. I'm having a ton of fun running speeds with Anime Disco and everybody else that I'm running with. It's been a very fun Season 16 so far, and it's good to see the Monk in some sort of speed meta, so I don't have to go and create a Necromancer or a Z-Barb in order to gain Paragon. And that's one of the best things about patch 2.6.4, in my opinion. The Monk is back in such a big way in all aspects of monkhood. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I always greatly appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and definitely let me know down in the comment section down below your thoughts on this guide, what your thoughts are on patch 2.6.4, Season 16 so far, because I personally am loving it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again, and you all have a fantastic day. Peace.